Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Organized. I have Monica here with me today. Now, Monica is a naturopath and nutritionist with over 10 years of clinical experience. She specializes in female hormonal health and fertility. She's known for a practical, evidence based approach that helps women understand their bodies and make sustainable changes. And outside of work, she's also a devoted mum who believes health should support real life, not complicate it. And from what I see, she's also a dog mum. So, welcome to the show, Monica.
Thank you so much. I love the name Beyond Organized. Like, come on,
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
about
Yeah.
all the things that are important in life once we get the organizing out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, I would love to hear what got you into your profession and doing what you do. What inspired you?
Yeah. What inspired me is I got out of school, was working as a kindergarten teacher, loved it, loved the children, but realized a lot of them were having complex issues, complex health issues, complex behavioral issues. And there wasn't a lot I could do, but, document their
Oh,
behavior, have those conversations with the parents. And I was starting to, explore better health myself and, seeing a naturopath. And it just inspired me. I thought I would love to help families and children in their everyday lives. Like, basic
love it.
nutrition that's practical, what's going on with their sleep, like all the things that they're doing every single
Yeah,
day. How can I influence those so that they're going to get a more personalized and thorough outcome? And that's really where it started. And yeah, from there, my gosh, it's taken me so many places. I've worked on health retreats. I've just
wow.
done so many things. It's been amazing. It really has.
Wow. So, do you find like, are you working full time in this? Does it work around your family? How do you make this work when you've got
Oh my
family and that to look
gosh.
after?
Yeah, it has changed and evolved over time. When my daughter, who's now 12, was a baby, I was still studying a little bit. I was sometimes just
Mm,
seeing clients like for an hour or two here or there, fitting them in
yeah.
when I could. And so it's definitely evolved over time. I was living in Melbourne at one point and I had two clinics that I was running full time. And
Wow.
that was really
Busy.
busy. That was really busy. Yeah, but also when you're working for yourself, you do have a bit of flexibility. Like, you can
Yeah.
still go to an appointment that you need to go to, and you can fit in family life around it. So there's pros and cons, of course.
Yeah. With different
Um
seasons.
with
Yeah, I
my
get it.
seasons, yeah, health retreats are a bit harder. That would mean time away from family. Um
Both good and bad.
Both good and bad. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
a lot of the guests would be like, "I feel so relaxed." I'm like, "Of course, you're here by yourself
yeah,
without your family." Like,
exactly. You
yeah.
don't have all this, stimulation going on.
All the stimulation. Yeah, yeah. So it's like any mum. It's always a juggle. I've lowered my
Yeah.
expectations over time. I've also got to the
Yeah.
point now where after 10 years, I've found I need to do lots of different kind of work, and that really helps
Mm,
prevent burnout. Because when you're hearing really heavy stories from people and you're getting an
mm,
insight to the complexities in their relationships and their minds, it's
mm.
heavy.
It
And
weighs. Yeah.
yeah, so I need to balance that. So sometimes now, like I'll do a little bit of disability support work, and somehow
Okay.
that gives me a bit more scope, a bit more balance. Or I like to
Yeah.
do some behind the scenes, like herbal medicine making for some companies, and that gives
Mm.
me a way of using my skills with in balance. I think balance is really important. It really is. We're
You're
using
preaching to
different
the
parts of our
choir here.
brain. Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
completely agree.
good.
That's
Yeah.
what I help people with.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that way you're not doing the same repetitive thing
Yeah.
7 days a week. You're breaking it up into
Yeah.
different aspects of that. And I can't recommend that enough for longevity. There's different
Yeah.
stages. You have to build your skills sometimes. And then when you've got them, it's like, okay, I need to diversify them and refine them
Yep.
now.
And I
And
think
yeah,
even for sorry to interrupt, but I
no,
think
go for
even
it.
for people who love routines, 'cause I could easily eat the same thing, breakfast,
Yeah,
lunch, dinner. I could do the same thing every day, but then, yeah, having a variety and changing things up again, I don't mind if every Monday I'm doing the same thing, every Tuesday I'm doing the same thing, and that
yeah.
I think having the variety though then throughout the week is yeah, it just helps long term to kinda not burn out because it gives you that different thing to look forward to for the next day.
Yeah.
So it keeps you going. So
Yeah.
even if you're someone that loves routines as much as I do, it can be great to spread those routines out further to break things up and have some creativity in
I
there.
feel like you've really nailed it on the head. I mean, routines help us achieve more, and that's certainly what I've found. Like
Yeah,
with routine, I actually get more done altogether.
yeah.
But I plan for that adaptability and I
Yeah,
plan for that creativity.
flexibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I plan for that to
Same.
exist. It might be like, yeah, Wednesday is like this and Monday is like
Yep,
this. And of course, life still happens and
yep.
throws up things sometimes.
It's more
But
freeing though, isn't it? It's just
yeah,
more freeing.
absolutely.
Yeah,
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 definitely. Because
absolutely.
I used to be too organized,
Yeah.
over-organized to the point where I had no joy and I was
Mhm.
miserable and asking God, "What the heck's going on?" And it's like, I
Yeah.
need to chill out a little bit. I need to let go of control a little bit. So, yeah, balance is just critical for anything that you're doing to have a healthy balance and not be too far one way or another. Life is too short to get caught up in these things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So at the moment, how do you help people? Like, what's your method or process in what you do?
Yeah, so I predominantly am working with women, sometimes men. It is nice in a couple to be influencing both, but often
Yep.
it's the woman that will seek me out. And so I'm finding out as much as I can about her body, what kind of symptoms it's giving her, what it feels like, what its rhythms are from like when are you hungry, when are you more tired, when are you more emotional, all of these
Yeah.
things. And then what does her everyday life tend to look like? What does her week, what does her month look like? So before I'm even suggesting anything to her, I want to know her. What is she
Mm.
doing? What are her goals? What are her plans? And then we're looking at those minute things that she's doing. You know, is she hungry when she wakes up in that first hour or is she not? Is she exercising at 10:30 at night or 10:30 in the morning? Like, what is
Yeah.
what is she
Yep.
doing and how is that fitting into her life? And so through that, yes, I'm focused on getting her supplement routine, getting her diet and her meal plans that are personalized to her, looking at what other lifestyle methods could be something simple like dry skin brushing. It could be using hot water bottles every day, trying to
Mm.
increase overall body temperature. It could be
Wow.
simple things like that that we're using. We could be making sure that her feet are covered all the time so that, her ovaries are going to be warm. It could be really simple things
Wow.
like this that we're incorporating,
Mm.
but it's impossible to look at just one aspect without the others. So it's like, well, how are your finances? Because you're preparing for a baby. Like, what are your financial goals? How are you reaching them? What does that look like? Let's do a bit of planning. How's your work going? What is that looking like? How can we plan a bit for that? In
Mm.
that'll come up relationship things as well, because, our relationships are
Yep.
always evolving, our
Yep.
communication, our stories that we're telling ourselves or telling our partner,
Yeah.
and our habits are there. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, what does this look like? So often people will go away from their first session with me and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is like, whoa,
Mind
my
blown.
my life is like, whoa, I wasn't kind of expecting this. It was like,
Yeah.
I've just seen everything in one." It's like, but I've realized, over the years, with more and more study and seeing more and more people, it has to look like that if we're
Yeah.
gonna get results and we're
Gotta
gonna get
have the whole
change.
picture.
You've got to have the
It's a
whole
holistic
picture.
thing.
Yeah,
Because there's no point helping with a dietary thing if there's something completely counteracting it and adding stress to the body that's just
absolutely.
not gonna help. So, I'm not I'm not a professional in your area, so I'm not pretending to know, but I have struggled with my weight and that for most of my
Mm.
life. I have seen naturopaths and that too, and I do understand enough to go that I could eat well, exercise well, and I still didn't lose a gram because the
Mhm.
stress that I was under was just not helping. And then I've got 4 kids, so obviously I've gone through the 4 full-term pregnancies, and
Yeah.
that is more stress on the body. And it's funny because I remember the doctor even saying at one point, because I was trying to work something out, she goes, "Oh, you must be under a lot of stress." And I'm like, "No, things aren't that bad." She goes, "Think about it, Mel. You're pregnant, you've got this going on." And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess my body is under stress. I just didn't mentally sort of
Yeah.
necessarily pick up on it." But there's a lot of factors that go into how we
Yeah.
do things, and I mean, food and exercise and all that's a great help and great start, of course, but man, it's not gonna do much, I would think, long term if we don't deal with some of these other things. My understanding.
Absolutely. Well, look, well, kudos to you for just being so capable that you're like, "Oh, am I stressed? I didn't even realize." I'm just, either that or you're
Look
just running blindly around 4 kids and you're like, "I don't know what's going on." Yeah.
Look, that was in that particular moment. I'd have to say that there's probably a little bit more stress I'm recognizing now.
Yeah.
I think that was about 3 kids in, now it's 4, and I'm like,
Okay, yeah.
and I'm running the business and the podcast. I'm thinking, "Okay, I can see how my
I
body is a
see it
bit
now.
stressed."
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter how much I love what I'm doing and where I'm at, there's a lot going on, so
It's acknowledging that it's a lot. Yeah,
it is.
absolutely. I mean, some women I can see it can be like, you're eating great. Like, if I look at your macros, your micros, everything's great, but maybe you're just not eating enough for what your body
Yeah.
requires because it's trying to heal and balance hormones. And so it
Yeah,
needs more. It just needs more right
yep.
now. Or
That was one of my
maybe,
problems.
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
starving myself and didn't realize that wasn't helping. Obviously, I know that now isn't great, but
yeah,
back then you just think, "I gotta eat less, I gotta eat less, I've gotta burn more than what I consume," and all of that, and it was not it wasn't working for me.
doesn't help. It's so
It was
common
adding more
now.
stress to my body.
It's so common. A lot of women are doing this like eating like a bird type thing or
Yes.
not eating regularly and it's that mindset change of you've got to think
Yeah.
about nourishing your body, having
Yeah.
energy, nourishment. I need the
And
fueling.
sustainable. It's gotta be
Sustainable
sustainable long
energy.
term, right? None of those things
Absolutely.
were sustainable, and so
Yeah.
even if I did lose some weight, it didn't stay off for long because it wasn't
Yeah.
sustainable, and it's not that I went back to, a whole lot of junk food and stuff. I'd go
Mm.
back to just eating a bit more or something, and then
Yeah.
it was horrible, but in some ways, I've gotta say, I'm grateful to be free from that, oppression, because I
Yeah.
didn't realize, and you probably see this a lot, and that's probably why it weighs heavily on you as well with what you deal with, but, like, when food and everything is such a controlling thing, and I was held captive by it for
Mhm.
30 years of my life, and I'd have to say the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't been a slave to it as much, and yeah, I'm still not perfect weight,
Mm.
but I can actually get on with my life to the point where I've accepted, "Look, I've had 4 kids, I'm not getting rid of everything." There there's gonna be some bits that
Yeah.
sticks with me, but I can get on with it. I get in the pool with the kids. I do things now, and I'm okay with who I am and what I am because I've
Yeah.
also realized, I don't know if you see this, but I look back and go, "Oh my gosh, when I was 20, I wish I'd recognized how good my body was then. I would love to go back to that." And now but the narrative I've been saying to myself now is, "You know what? Another 10, 20, 30 years, I'm gonna look back on now and go,
Yeah.
oh,
You were
I
so
wish my
young.
body was that good." Like,
You're looking at your
it's
skin like, "What? That was amazing."
yeah, exactly, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? It's perspective depending on
Mm.
what age, what time, what season you're in, it's all perspective, and
Yeah.
I'm choosing to live in a perspective that, well, for starters, I see myself more the way that God sees me, but also appreciating the fact that a few years from now, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I should have appreciated how I looked a bit more back then."
Absolutely. But I mean, look at the function of your body. You were able to have 4 children.
Yeah.
Like, that is a fantastic body.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Like,
did its job well.
it
Mm.
did its job well. Some women are, they're trying to get that body that you had.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
and I mean, your husband must like you, like, 4 kids. It's
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems pretty
It's
hopeful.
alright.
You're running a business, you're doing a podcast. It's
Yeah.
like, the body's working pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's pretty marvelous. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, what is one thing that you wish more women would know in what you do? Because I've kind of hijacked this a bit, so I'm gonna let you, the
I like it,
professional,
don't
speak on
worry.
this.
Oh, one thing I wish more women would know is to just pace themselves,
Mm.
and it's something I've had to learn. Progress is good. Getting it
Yeah.
all done, maybe not in a day, maybe not
Yeah.
in the way that you think.
Yeah.
Progress, just have to go. It's not perfect, but it was some progress. I got a little bit
Yeah.
further along towards that thing I'm doing in my
Yeah.
health, that thing I'm doing in my business,
Yep.
my house, being a bit
Yeah.
cleaner, whatever it is.
Yep.
It's like I didn't get it all done, and I don't think there's a single day at the moment where I do and have for a while, but
Mm.
I'm progressing every single day. And
Yep.
to me, that's pacing. And that's what I have to teach people. It's pacing. You're not gonna
Yep.
get all these results in one day or one week, but you're
Yeah.
gonna make progress, and you're gonna keep making progress and keep that
Yep.
steady pace where we're not going too slow so that nothing is happening and the
Yeah.
train's not moving, but we don't need to rush either. We're just progressing all the time. And
Yeah.
to me, that's kept me working as a mom. It's kept me balanced. And I see it in other women too. I'm like, consider this nitpicking at yourself, which, we're
Yeah.
so good at, which really that nitpicking should just
Doesn't
be
help.
about clarity or truth or facts, but we
Yeah.
use it towards ourself instead. Like, oh my gosh,
Well,
my cycle wasn't perfect last month. These are the kind of things I might hear from women. Oh, my
yeah.
my my diet was like this or this. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. You're still progressing. You're still pacing yourself well. That's
Yeah.
okay. That is okay. Progress is good. We'll take it. Yeah.
I love that message, and that completely aligns with even what I do with helping women with getting organized and
Mm.
all of that too. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing with their health and their food, because it really is about long-term sustainability, but also you want to enjoy each day. You want to have time each day to enjoy what you're eating or what
Mhm.
you're doing, depending, whether we're talking about health or talking about organizing. I mean, it's all part of our lives, but any win is worth celebrating, is worth
It's worth
acknowledging.
celebrating. And
Yeah.
what you've said is perfect because really to have good health, it requires organization. And
Yeah.
that's something I've said to so many women. It's like if
Yeah.
you come home from work and you're hungry and you're tired already and there's
Yeah.
no dinner options, no
Yeah.
good choice is going to be made in that moment. Like
No. No,
it's
you're just
just
going to reach for the
it's
quickest and
just
easiest
not
thing.
gonna happen. So,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's the same for everybody. I'm like, the
Yeah.
easiest way to eat an 80%, 20% diet, where 80% of the time
Yeah.
you're on track, you're getting your protein, you're getting all those things you need,
Yeah.
is a bit of organization.
Yep.
Um, that's the secret. Everyone's like, what's the
Yeah.
secret to great nutrition? It's just still being a little bit organized.
Yeah.
There's no way around it,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Well,
Like,
I have
yeah.
to look at what days, like, I know on a Tuesday I'm gonna be home late. I kinda get home at dinner time. I'm in the city all day, get
Yeah,
home, and so I know I'm not gonna have time to cook. So then on the
yeah,
Monday night, I've cooked enough stuff, or sometimes even the Sunday night, I've cooked enough stuff that there's the leftovers and that, and my husband just has to quickly make a salad to go with it, and we're good. Like,
yeah,
it's sort of preempting, and it doesn't even have to be that you're making big meal plans and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
obviously you teach your way, but I know for me, a lot
yeah,
of the time it's just making sure that I've got good leftovers, some of the chicken
yeah,
leftover or whatever it is that's just easy to heat up, or the chicken I can even eat cold with the roast chicken.
yeah,
Um, and then you just add the salad and that with it, and boom, there's another dinner, and it took
Yeah.
5 seconds, and it's quicker than going to get takeaway, and
Yeah.
it's certainly a lot cheaper than going to get takeaway.
Yeah,
So,
it's very
um
costly now. It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't
Yeah.
even believe I mean, we saw I know this is not probably a great thing to talk about, but let's
Mm,
be
go
real
for it.
here.
Yeah.
Um, we, when we went away not long ago, we went to get a McDonald's share box thing with the
Yeah.
family, and there is 6 of us,
Yeah.
and I could not like, my husband and I are looking at each other like, "Clearly, we haven't bought this in a while because I don't remember it being this expensive." So,
Yeah, right, it's not
it's
even a
like,
cheap
"Wow."
option anymore.
No.
So it used to be like you'd get takeaway and it was cheap, and now it's like, "Oh, it's not cheap."
Yeah.
That's not
Well,
why you do it.
for the
Yeah.
same amount of money, I mean, last night
Yeah.
we did a big barbecue cook up. We had all the sausages, had the chicken kebabs,
Yeah.
had the salad, made some like side salady thing. What's it called? Pasta salad kind of
Yeah.
thing. And but I had like a whole spread of things and it cost less
Yeah.
than that. And the kids loved it. They love the chicken kebabs. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It's good
Yeah,
barbecue
yeah.
weather.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. And, it doesn't mean that as a family you could never get takeaway or
Yeah.
that could never
No.
happen, but it's kind of ideal to plan for that, to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is what we're gonna get, and this
Yeah.
is roughly when we're
Well,
gonna
and
get
it
it."
was.
Yeah,
We're on
yeah.
holidays. It was part of the plan, but we were just kind of like, "Geez,
I know
that's
it's
cost more
mind-blowing.
than."
I know, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
we're gonna all have to become back like they were in the '70s. I was actually reading recently, like, the kind of meals that families would eat in the '70s, and there's a lot
Yeah.
more legumes, they're cheaper, and there wasn't all
Yes.
these takeaway options or
No.
prepackaged meals, it just wasn't available.
Yeah.
But they're also paying off a mortgage on one income back then. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Look, it's all relative. I think
impressive.
every
It's all
generation has got
yeah,
its own struggles and its own things to deal
yeah,
with. But I know from what I'm seeing and probably what you're seeing too is that there's a lot of information coming at us everywhere, and there's a lot of things
mhm.
to compare with, a lot of people to compare with now as
Uh-huh.
well, and comparison certainly is the thief of joy. And it
Oh, isn't
just and
it?
there's just so much going on that no wonder women are so overwhelmed and
Yeah,
so exhausted and just they'd rather just go to bed than try and deal with anything. Like, whatever, it's just
yeah,
I get it, it's hard, but I love that you're dealing in an area that I don't really deal with very much. I can help a little bit with the meal planning in terms of their timing and scheduling of things, but as to
yeah.
what to eat, that's not my thing. That's not what I do. And I'm still learning it myself. But
We're always learning. That's great. But yeah, you've touched on the organization, which is it's so important. It's
yeah,
so important. Yeah.
yeah. And what's something that you find if there's a mum out there that's like, "Okay, where do I get started? What's the best way to get started?" What's some advice you might have on that?
For a lot of them, it will be their nutrition because that is going to boost their energy quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's something they have to do. You have to eat every day. So I know
Yes.
that they're gonna be able to afford to do that. I'm
Yeah.
not adding in anything that they're not already doing, and that's why
Yeah.
I love nutrition. It's like,
That
you are
helps.
gonna eat every day. So
Yeah.
so you are doing this thing already. I'm not asking you to go skydiving or something crazy.
Oh
It's like
gosh, no.
no,
No
no,
thanks.
no. You're here doing what you're doing. So, we might look at when is she shopping? Is she shopping weekly? Is she shopping fortnightly? What are some of the meals that she's having for her family? The average Australian only has 3 recipes that they tend to rotate and go to. Isn't that crazy?
That's a
Yeah.
bit boring.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
I mean, I don't
boring.
have many more than that, but I would say
Yeah, yeah,
I'd say I'd have at least 7 I rotate around, and even then, there's a few that I'll pull out once or twice a month, and I've got a number of those, like, I don't know,
yeah.
like 3? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
Wow.
you know what it is? People and they're not putting a lot of thought into it. That's the
Yeah.
reality. Is like if you have 3 or 4 meals that are really good, then maybe just every week you do 1 or 2 new recipes and you still
Yeah.
keep to 3 or 4 or 3 or 4 type meals. They don't have to be you don't have to make like some 7-layered lasagna or something ridiculous.
No.
Like
You don't
no,
wanna
no,
too much
no.
energy on it.
No, no one's asking for that. I mean,
Yeah.
slow cooker, slow cooked meats, barbecued meats,
Mm,
like simple food can be really yummy, really nutritious too.
yeah,
Doesn't need
yeah,
to be more than that. So we
yeah.
start there. Is it meeting her goals? If she's trying for a baby, is she only eating all cold foods? Not going to work very well. Is she eating protein with all her meals? Is she having good fat? Is she having enough fiber? I'm going to calculate all of that. And then I'm going to
Wow,
calculate that against her bloods. So I'm going to look at her blood work and her pathology, and I'm going to go, where is her ferritin at? What is she
mm,
eating? Now, to get her ferritin where I need it to be so that we're not just getting her fertile and pregnant, we're not just getting good ovulation, but we're preventing nausea in the first
yeah.
trimester because she's going to have more iron, her blood volume's going to increase easier. She's going to have more
Mm,
energy, all these things that we want. We're going to prevent miscarriage even with higher iron levels. Is her
yeah,
diet meeting that? It might be, but then we're looking at how long is it gonna take to get optimum based on what she's eating at the moment, and
mhm,
we will literally calculate that and make it really simple, like, you need to be eating this much red meat this many times a week, this much nuts or seeds, this much legumes, and we will make that really simple for her so
wow,
that she's like, "I've got this, I know what to do. I also know how long it's roughly gonna take." We're probably gonna need a supplement too for most people if they're quite low. So
mm,
it's really detailed, like ferritin's just one example. But I
gosh,
will match her blood work with where she needs to go to get her hormones and fertility there and what she's doing. Is it gonna meet that target? Um,
wow.
we'll need to
I didn't
check along
realize
the
it
way.
was so
Yeah,
complicated even
yeah,
before when
it's
you said about the heat pack to, like, stay warm and the socks on the feet and all this stuff to help with ovulation. I'm like, "What? I've never heard of this before." I didn't realize it was so
we
in-depth.
need we
Really, I
need a
didn't.
woman's body to feel safe and warm. If she
Yeah.
can feel safe and warm, she could have endometriosis, she could have PCOS,
Um,
she could have any of these diagnoses and she can still conceive a baby because her environment feels safe, her external environment. So it does matter,
yep.
not that she's living in a palace, but that she's living somewhere where she feels
Yeah.
safe. And that
Yeah.
her internal environment is safe too. Is she
Mm,
nourishing it? Does she have enough nutrients in abundance so that the body's like,
yeah.
yes, I can
Wow.
conceive well. And of course, prayer, like, there's all these things
Yeah.
we come into it, but I cannot tell you the amount of times that it's like, oh, that was 100% a God job. Like how
Yeah.
you're having a baby
Thank
right
God for
now
that, hey?
when you were told, like, "No, it's not likely. You can try and do many rounds of IVF, it's not gonna be successful." And then this lady's got a baby,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "This is God's will." Like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great when, like, we know that doesn't matter even as coaches and health professional and all of that, we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, but we can only take it so far. There are some things where we just have to rely on God to fill in the gap as well and
Yeah.
trust that He has a bigger plan and a plan for your life and one that is good and that pleases Him too. And so sometimes if science says one thing, doctor says one thing, and you just do the best you can. And I think someone in
Yeah.
your profession really gives the absolute best chance possible to
Yeah.
do what you can within your own power and your own, ability. And then you just got to let God be God. Let him
You
do his thing.
ultimately do. It's gonna be his timing, and often I
Yeah.
find it's not uncommon that he will do things at a time that means you have to rely on him and you have to go, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fine. This is
And it's
your
the most
timing."
painful,
Oh, man.
uncomfortable, like, stretching, and you just think, "God, I don't wanna be stretched anymore," but it's always the way, isn't it? It's when things are just so because it requires faith, and
Mm,
there's just no other way around it because there's this disconnect between where you are and where you wanna be, and the only way to connect that is faith in because there's nothing more that can be done. There's just
Yeah.
absolutely nothing more that can be done, and you just gotta trust, "Alright, God, I'm letting go and I'm letting you be
Mm,
you. Do what you
yeah.
do." And it's so uncomfortable. I'm walking through my own thing right now of that. So I'm saying this as someone walking through it, where as much
Oh,
as I'd
yeah.
love to have everything controlled,
Yeah.
everything planned, I've got the next 20 years of my life planned out, as much as I'd like to do all that, I
Oh,
have to just go,
here.
I can't. I've just gotta
Yeah.
let God be God, and I've just gotta step out of the way. I've gotta get out of the way of my own
Yeah.
life, really.
Yeah, I
So
honestly, he takes me to the same places all the time, and I'm also there again because that's where he wants us. It's like again, it's like, "Yes, relying on me. Sorry, not just on yourself."
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah, we're all walking
humbling.
that journey because that's where he wants us, relying on him. And it's tricky.
Yeah,
We still need to be organized and make our plans because there's a balance there too where for me, with
mhm,
people with health issues, fertility, I'll see some Christians and they don't balance that level of self responsibility in it too. And it's like, well,
mhm.
you're praying, you're asking, but you still need to be a good steward of your
Yeah,
time, what you're doing,
yeah,
and your body. And that's you having faith too, is going, I trust you,
yeah,
God, that if it's your will, you'll do this, but I'm also
yeah,
going to move in towards that as well.
yeah.
Where it's easy to be like,
Well,
no, well,
he
I don't have to have any responsibility. God will just do this miracle for me. It's like, ugh,
no.
it's very,
If that was
yeah,
the case, he would have kept us as children forever. That he's given
mhm,
us a brain, the ability
yeah,
to grow and to respond and be responsible and all of that too, and so I love the fact that I can have adult conversations with God. Yes, I can have childlike ones too, but I can
yeah,
have deeper adult conversations with Him that I wouldn't have if I was quite immature in how I
yeah,
was handling my life. So
yeah,
He can see what I'm doing and how I'm trying with all these things and how I am a good steward with a lot of things. It's like, well, okay, you were good with little, now I can give you more. And even with your health, okay, might struggle with, I don't know, sweets. You might struggle with sweets, and that's something that I mean, I love chocolate, I will admit. I haven't had any in the house for like a week and I've got to keep it that way. But sometimes you love sweets and then you might go, okay, oh no, I've made a big mistake. Oh no, I've had some chocolate. And it's like, well, hang on a second. It's okay. You get back on, you try again, and God will see your trying and your ability behind the scenes when no one's watching. He will see if you actually make that decision to go, no, I'm not going to eat that. And yes, okay, you might end up eating it down the track, but he is proud of you each moment in those moments when you're making choices that are for life. That's
mm,
good choices. And then there might be other moments where he goes, "It's okay. You can have that chocolate. Just have
yeah,
it now and then move on." Like, and it's okay too. When you are intentional with what you're doing, and I say this a lot
mm,
with organizing and stuff, when you're intentional with the small things, then you can handle the bigger things later
yeah,
on as well. So,
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. We do our part and God does his part. Like it's a
yeah,
relationship and that's what works. And it's the same with health too.
that's it.
Yes, he does hit
Yeah,
like there's plenty of people get healed, plenty of all of that, but we still do our part. Yeah. We're still
yeah.
good
Just do what you
stewards of our
can.
health. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one day at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. One day at a time.
Yeah. 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 It is tricky. But yeah, look, I love the work I do. I've seen all kinds of results for, women who are willing. They're willing to really examine their lifestyle. They're really willing to take that journey and they get results they didn't think that they could. They're happier, they have more energy, more joy. And what
So
more could I
important.
ask for? What more could I ask for?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
at the very basic level, I think that's what women want, is just to have a little bit more energy, a little bit more joy,
Mm.
a little bit more things, but I love that from what you're doing, they could have a lot more, really, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exciting too,
Yeah, I mean,
making
the
that shift.
more you educate someone over time, the more it will just become subconscious too. I often say, like, keeping the same example of like your iron and your food for someone who's got low iron. Not everyone does. I'm
Mm,
like, what I'm teaching you at the moment, after a while, it will become subconscious. You'll just naturally
yeah,
know that when you're looking at your food. You're not going to be counting it or measuring it.
yeah,
You're just going to have an idea, like, have I kind of reached my target
yeah,
for this week and
yeah,
over time? It'll just become natural. It might be the same when you know
yeah,
someone's learning to eat enough protein throughout the day, which is also huge for a lot of
yeah,
women. I'm going, are you eating
yeah,
that 60 or 70 grams? At first, it might be like, well, this is how much protein is in all these different foods, and this is an idea of a day. But I'm like, over time, it's not going to be
yeah,
perfect. You might not always meet it, but it's going to become
yeah,
subconscious to you. And you'll just start to
yeah,
realize, oh, yeah, like I just know and I just get it. So
yeah,
it's the work pays off. It's like learning another language. And then over time, you're like, oh,
yeah,
I understand it and I'm speaking
yeah,
it. And it's just normal. It's
be
just natural to
consistent.
me. Yep. The
Yeah,
consistency pays off. Yeah. You learn the
yeah,
language, you just
definitely.
pick it up. But yeah, diet is a huge thing. But also, we touched a bit on simple things. It might even be that they're exercising, but the exercise is not right for their fertility. Or, like you mentioned before, where their
Mm,
stress levels are. It's like that's a great type of exercise for somebody else with a different job, different lifestyle,
yeah,
different hormone
yep,
cycle. It's not for you. It's not going to help you
yeah,
reach your
that's
goal.
a good point.
It's
Yep.
not for
I
you
like
right
that
now.
I like that personalized approach because honestly, we are all so different. Our makeup is all so different. So it's great to
We're
have
meant to be.
your
Yeah.
expertise and your pair of eyes on it and looking to see how you
Yeah.
can help.
Yeah. But I think that personalized approach, it's a hard thing in a digital world because what people are
Yeah.
doing is they're looking for generalized information. And
Well,
I
because that's
get
generally
that.
cheaper.
I
And
get that. I get that.
it's
Yeah.
not
Or
always cheap isn't always best.
cheap is not always
Yeah.
cheaper. It can seem
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
but it can be more expensive in the long run because it takes you
Yeah.
longer to get there. You're trialing different things instead of being like, well, you didn't need to be doing these 5 or 10 things or buying those 5 or 10 things. You only needed to be doing these
Yep.
3 things. And that's
Yep.
it. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
living proof of that, even when it comes to health and that too. Oh, there's some things that I just wish that I did years earlier, and it would have saved me more money in the long run. Just going, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. We
That's
learn.
okay.
We learn.
You're learning and you're sharing that
Yeah,
information with others. So you
that's
can
it.
plant those
That's
seeds of
it.
people too. But I get
That's
it.
it.
Like budget is a real thing, as I'm sure you know in
Yeah.
your work too. Cost of living
Yep.
is high. There is a lot of financial
Definitely.
pressure and there's a lot of debt. And I don't
Yeah.
believe that that's what God wants for us. I really don't.
No,
Like, I look at
I
this
agree.
system that people are, and I'm like, I don't believe God wants you to be in that much debt. I don't want you to believe
No.
that He wants you to be that
Well,
exhausted. I don't believe that.
oh man,
Yep.
I feel like that's another whole conversation
That's
because
a whole nother
I
thing.
agree because I feel
Yeah.
like the enemy wants to keep us broke, so then
Yeah.
we can't step into our purpose and our calling.
Yeah.
So, you know, it that is something to look at too. But anyway,
Yeah.
we can talk
That's
about that
true.
another
He
time
wants us
'cause
to be broke, like,
Yep,
fatigued, have these health issues.
yep,
He wants all those things that are just
yep,
gonna keep us drained. It's like, I can't
yep.
destroy you, I'll drain you. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
exactly, and
Yeah.
I think between the 2 of us, we certainly cover a lot where we're
Yeah.
gonna be putting the enemy out of a job, so that's good.
That's good. That's
We're equipping
excellent.
women.
That's
So,
ex
Monica, if some beautiful woman is listening right now thinking, "I know that I need a bit of help with my diet, I need a bit of help with my fertility," where can they find you?
I still find most people find me on Instagram. And that is still a great place. The reason being is that I'd encourage you to send me a message. Tell me what's going on so that I can know straight away, can I help you or not? Because I want to be
Mm,
realistic about that. Are you someone that I'm actually going to be able to help? And if not, can I point you in another direction? And if I can help you, I want an idea, be able to tell you what that's going to look like. So
yeah,
I really encourage, let me know what's happening for you. If,
yeah.
whatever's happening in your diet, are you like, are you craving lots of sweets? I've been there. It's just, it's not an issue I have anymore. It's not that I hate them,
Mm,
but I don't
mm,
crave them. I just don't
yeah.
feel like them. And that is
Doesn't have
possible,
that
believe me.
control over you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
I don't even think about it a lot. And believe me, it was not always
yeah,
like that. Once upon a time, I was like,
yeah.
must,
That's
please, I
good.
cannot get through the day. So I know what that feels like,
Freeing.
as an
Mm,
example. Or whatever it is that's happening for you, yeah, just
yeah,
talk to me, tell me. And then from there, we can look at what's right for you. Is it then going to be that first consultation where we create a plan for you to go away with? I actually find with my clients, they go away with a plan. And then we
great.
often have communication on WhatsApp in between where it's like, you can ask me a question here or there. We can make sure your plan is working. You're sticking to it. So, yeah, I always say just talk to me so I can be like, is this actually going to work for you? Am I the right person to help you?
Yeah,
Because we are all individual and we're getting lost in this digital world where it's things aren't
mm,
personalized. Things are very
yeah, I
generalized.
agree.
And then we're wondering, why is this not working for me? Or I'm trying this and
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not bad to research. It's not bad to try
yeah,
and think for yourself. But it is
yeah,
okay to get that guidance. And I believe we really encourage to do that. And then it's
yeah.
faster, it's simpler, it's more cost effective, it's
You can get
all
on with your
those
way.
things.
Yeah,
It's all those things that we want.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. Lovely. Well, I'll make sure the
Mhm.
details are in the show notes to make it nice and easy for the listeners. But thank you so much for joining us today, Monica.
Thank you. I've had such a good time and I appreciate it. Thank
Oh, you're
you.
welcome.